Okay, so we're going to go over Bella's commands and show you how you can stay consistent with her once she goes home. So her first command is heel. This is loose leash walking on the left hand side. You want to be sure to keep a nice relaxed leash to make sure her collar isn't too tight and that she's not pulling into her collar when she's walking next to you. You can reward her when she's walking next to you. Give her treats, give her praise and petting, and then if she needs a correction, we'll show you later on how to give that correction. But again, you want her on your left hand side walking right next to you, and then you want to make sure to keep a nice relaxed leash, that way there's no pressure on her collars. Then her next command is sit stay. So you can have her sit. If she doesn't sit right away, you'll just give her a quick pop on her leash in an upward motion, or you can give her a correction with the remote collar. But then if she's sitting, you can reward her again for sitting. And then if you want to walk away from her to go grab your coat or put your shoes on really quick before you go on a walk, you just remind her sit before you walk away. We don't say stay because that's one more word that she has to remember. So you just say sit to remind her what she's doing, and then go do what you need to do. And then you can go back to her to release her from that sit and either have her heel or free her from that command to do whatever you want to do next. So that's sit stay. Her next command is a down stay. So just like sit, you would tell her down. Sometimes she may sit first and then lay down. Sometimes it takes her a little bit longer. She likes to move in a slow motion sometimes. So just give her a second if she doesn't do that right away. If you don't see that she's going into a down, you can correct her for that. But sometimes she just takes a little bit longer to go into that down. Once she's in that down, if you want to reward that, you can reward her down low next to the ground. That way she stays down and her head stays down onto the ground. Then if you wanted to walk away again to go grab your coat or go put your shoes on, you would just remind her down before walking away. And then again, you want to go back to release her from that command. So you'd go back, reward her, good job, good girl, and then you can release her from that command by again saying free your heel or whatever you want her to do next. So that's down stay. Her next command is place stay. So you would send her to place or walk her to place, and then you can reward her on the bed for this command. This can be used to add some structure in the house and give her a place to kind of chill out and relax when new visitors come over, or you have people over, or you want to make dinner, anything like that. You can send her to place. That way she has a job to do, and then she has a place to stay. There's not many rules on that. She just has to stay on the bed, and she can't be vocal or jumping off, anything like that. But she can stay on the bed. She can be sitting, standing, laying down, anything like that. And then you can give her toys if you want on the bed to give her something else to do, anything like that. But she can stay on the bed, and then when you want to release her, we always want to be sure, for this one especially, to go back to release her, because we don't want her to get too excited when you walk in the room or anything like that, because she knows she's going to get treats. So we want to go back to her, reward her on the bed for this one, and then we can release her to whatever you want her to do next for that one as well. But before you walk away, you would just remind her place, same as the sit stay or the down stay. You just remind her of the command that she's already in, and then go do whatever you want to do, and then go back to her to reward and release her. So that is place stay. Her next command is come when called. So you want to let Bella go explore, run around in the yard, anything like that. You would say free to release her. She's free to go sniff, smell, go potty, anything like that. And then when you're ready for Bella to come back to you, you're going to say come. And you want to be sure to be really fun and exciting with Bella, especially since she does have a history of running off and trying to play, anything like that, to get away from you guys. You want to be sure to be fun and exciting and welcome Bella into your space. So we're going to be sure to take a few steps back to let her know, hey, I'm not chasing after you. I'm welcoming you into my space. So you'll take a few steps backwards, and then you can be fun, exciting, good girl, good job, praise her for running back towards you, and then when she's back to you, you can reward her for coming all the way back to you. Then she's supposed to sit until you release her. So she comes back to you, you reward her for coming back to you and sitting down, and then whenever you're ready, you can release her again to that free. But again, when you want her to come back to you, you'll say come really loud for her, make sure that she can hear the command, and then be fun and exciting, get her to come back into your space, and then you can reward her for being in your space. We want to be sure, especially to reward this command, since she does again have that history of running off. We want to always reward this command so that she does have a strong reward history with you guys, and she's more likely to come back to you guys on her own in the future. So that's come when called. Again, come, she comes back to you, you praise her as she's coming back to you, she sits, you reward her for that, then you can release her back into the free whenever you're ready. We want to be sure to, especially at first, practice this on leash. You can have a long 50-foot leash if you want, but we want to be sure to practice this on leash first. That way, again, you can build that strong reward history with her before practicing it off leash with her. So that is come when called or recall. And then her last command is leave it. We want to be sure to practice leave it with dog safe foods first. That way she's prepared if it were a situation where you dropped medicine or spilled something that she's not supposed to drink, anything like that. So you want to practice this with dog safe foods first. You drop something on the ground, leave it. You can reward her from your hand for not taking what's on the ground, and then you can pick up what's on the ground, or you can let her have it since she waited for you to go ahead and give her that, okay? So that is leave it. Again, always practice that with dog safe foods first. Then we're going to quickly go over her collars, and then we'll go over the collars in more detail towards the end of the video. So for the remote collar, on the remote there's a small red dot, and then on her collar there's another small red dot. To turn the collar on, we're going to tap these together really quick till you see that green light flash. The collar is going to flash green every couple seconds to let you know that it's on and charged. If it flashes either yellow or red, that just means that the collar needs charged. So now our collar is turned on, and to turn the remote on the back of the remote there's a large L circle button in the center. We're going to press and hold that until our screen lights up. Now it's going to show level 15, which is Bella's current level. So now her collar and her remote are both on. And if Bella needs a correction for anything, I'm going to pretend really quick that my hand is Bella's neck. On the side of the remote, there's a black S button. So if Bella were to pull too far ahead of you on your leash, you're going to say no, and you're going to press this black S button and then remind her that she's healing. If she doesn't come back to you when you say come, then you're going to say no, and you're going to press this button and then remind her come, so that she knows what she's supposed to be doing. Same for a sit stay, down stay, anything like that. If she were to get up, you're going to say no, press the black S button, and then remind her sit or remind her down, anything like that. If she were to get off of place, you're going to say no, black S button, place. So that's how we use the remote collar. Again, I'll go over that in more depth towards the end of the video. And then this is her prong collar. To put this on and off of Bella, we're going to push these prongs up and pull to get them apart. And then to put it back together, you're going to put one side in, pinch them together, and slide it back in that second hole. So that's how to get the prong collar on and off again. And then this is going to sit on Bella's neck like this. You want to make sure, again, if she's not getting corrected, that it's nice and relaxed like this. And then if she does need a correction, so if she starts to pull too far ahead, you're going to give her a quick pop and release to get her back into your space. So again, we want to make sure it's a quick pop and release to get her back into your space. That way there's no pressure on the leash. If there's a triangle at all, there's too much pressure on the leash, so we want to be sure to have it nice and relaxed. That way she's not pulling into it at all and getting used to the feeling of the collar. So if she needs a correction, pop and release. If you need her to sit and she gets up too early from that sit, you're going to pop it quickly up, pop and release. Same for the downstay. It's going to be a quick pop and release, but this time in a downward motion. That way she understands, oh, hey, that's in a downward motion. I need to go down. So that's how the prong collar works. Again, make sure it's nice and relaxed so that she's not pulling into that. So that's a quick overview of her collars. Again, we'll go over that towards the end of the video, and those are her commands. So now we're going to show you her commands. Sit. 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 Heel.
Yeah, everybody, if we see a work, we'll laugh. Yeah, let me see what we got here on the side. So we got
Down. Good girl. Down. Good girl. Good down. Good girl. Good down. Good girl. Good down. Free. Good job. Sit. 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 Free. Leave it. Good. Okay. Get it. Okay. Leave it. Good girl. Okay. Get going. Get going. Good girl. Leave it. Good job. Good job. Okay. Okay. Good. Good job. Good girl. Nice. Good girl. Good job. Place. Good place. 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 Good place. Good job. Hey. Good place. Didn't mean to scare you. Place. Good place. Good job. Didn't scare you. Free. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you with the hula. Okay. You're free. Okay, so now that we've shown you Bella's commands, we're going to show you her remote collar and prong collar more in depth. So again, to turn this back on, tap the two red dots together and press and hold the black L button on the back until the screen is flashing. So now it shows you that Bella's level is at 15. If you get home and that level is too much or not enough to change that, you're going to press this dial down until it flashes, and now you can change the level. So we're going to put her back at 15, but if you get her home and 15 seems like too much, you can try bumping her down to 10. I don't think it'll be too much at all, but if that were to happen, and then if 15 isn't enough for you guys, you can always try bumping her up to 20 or 25, and hopefully that'll be enough to do that. If that isn't enough, I would recommend going back to working on everything on leash first. But to change that to, say, 20, you just turn the dial to 20 and press and hold that to lock it back down. So we're going to take her back to 15 since that's what she's at right now. And to lock that, press and hold until it flashes. And now that's locked again, so we can't accidentally change it in our pockets or accidentally hit it, anything like that. So that's how to change her level. And then right now her level is 15. So again, to correct her, we would press the black S button to correct her, but below that is the red S button. That's Bella's boost feature. So that's gonna double her level right now. So if I correct her with the black S button, that's 15. But if I press the red button, it bumps her up to 31. This is gonna be for if she gets off somehow and she starts running towards the road, or you can't get her attention to get her back to you. You're gonna press the red button until you get her attention and she comes back to you. So again, 15 is the black S button, 31 is for the emergency one, and that's the red S button. On the other side of the remote, there's a black T button. That's the vibrate feature. So that vibrates the collar. You can use that later on as a warning, but you don't want to use that too often because it's kind of like counting to 3 and then not doing anything about it. So again, that's the black T button on the opposite side of the black and the red S button. Then on the back of the collar, that circle L button, if you press and hold it, that's what turns the remote on and off. But if you just tap that, that's going to turn the flashlight feature on. So if you tap it once, it flashes the light. But then if you press it twice, it just turns the flashlight on continuously. And then next to that button is a small M/C button. Bella's on momentary right now. You may need to change her to continuous, but I don't see that happening, so you don't need to worry about that button at all. Then on the remote and the collar, there's the charging ports. So on the remote, it's down here, and underneath the collar is this charging port for the collar. In the box, there's more prongs. She's still on the short prongs right now, but there are longer ones in here if she were to need them. So if her hair starts to get too long and you feel like she's not feeling the collar at all, you can always try changing her to the longer ones. And then in this one, there's this little tool here that you can use to take the prongs on and off of the collar. And then there is the charger. She's got some extra links for her prong collar, and the strap that the collar originally came on. And then under all of that, there's also the instruction manual in case you want to go into everything more in depth. And then on the back of the box, there's the information to contact them for your 2-year warranty. So you just send them, I think there's an email. Yes, you can send them an email or you can give them a call and let them know, hey, I got the collar and I just want to sign up for the 2-year warranty that we send home. So that is the remote collar. It usually stays charged for about 2 days, and then you can just charge it for a couple hours. We don't recommend leaving it on the charger overnight just because we don't want to wear out the battery like we would if we leave our phone on the charger all the time. But usually a couple hours and it should be good. And then the collar is waterproof, so if you want Bella to either play in the snow or the water, anything like that, she's good to do that. Just make sure that these ports are closed all the way so that no water gets into anything. And then you want to make sure to take it off of Bella if she were to get wet, and make sure that her skin is dried really good underneath. That way she doesn't get any sores and she doesn't get a bunch of bacteria under there from her skin being wet. But for the flashlight feature, if you want Bella to have the flashlight feature, you want to make sure that this part that flashes when you turn the collar on, you want to make sure that that's pointed up. That way you can see the flashlight and you can see Bella when you were to turn the flashlight on and use the flashlight. And that also helps with being able to see if the collar's charged when she's wearing it. And then for the prong collar, to again take that on and off of her, I usually push up on the bottom of the prongs and then pull from the top. And then to put them back together, you'll put one side in, pinch them together, and slide the other side in. Right now she has 4 links on one side and 3 on the other. There are some more links in the box just in case she grows a little bit, and you would do the same thing to add those to the collar. You would just pinch one side and put it in. So those are her collars. You want to be sure to have lots of fun with Bella, especially for that recall one. Have fun with her, get her attention, and make sure that she knows that you're more fun and exciting than was out in the yard or what's driving by when you're walking, anything like that. So you want to be sure to reward Bella for the behaviors that you like, and then if she were to do unwanted behaviors, you can correct her for those as well and be firm with her corrections. That way she knows, hey, mom or dad doesn't like when I do that. But again, you want to have lots of fun with Bella. That way she understands and she's more likely to come back to you guys on her own in the future, and she's more likely to come and do a calm behavior like that again on her own in the future. So those are her commands and her collars. Make sure to have fun and be consistent with her and practice lots with her.